hands. It's a solid run out for us. Either the opponent checks back turn for pot control, or he's got nothing. I bet 120 to target hands that he was trying to get the showdown cheaply with. The opponent snap calls. I turn over ace-king. The opponent shows for the vlog that we have him notched. He has king-queen offsuit. Ever since that first hand with 9-7, things have been smooth sailing. Enjoy it while it lasts, because I can assure you that that won't be the case in upcoming vlogs. At the moment, I suppose we should just live in the now. Now's a good time because we're up 1400. Next, we're dealt 10-9 suited in the cutoff. I raised to 30. The small blind is the only caller. We're heads up in position, and the flop comes king-king-3 with one spade. We have pretty much nothing except some backdoor draws. The small blind checks.
What's up, John?
20 to see if perhaps I can get the opponent to fold any hand better than mine, or one that has equity. Really, I'm just trying to get him to fold anything. The small blind isn't a folder. He calls, but doesn't seem thrilled. The turn is the 7 of clubs. We've got a lot of nothing. The opponent checks. I can't win this by checking back. I stick with my read on the opponent, but he probably doesn't have much.
I just woke up.
I included the audio for the bet sizing because the small blind actually gets his chips in there before I do.
Now,
very interesting.
I got some food in my stomach and I got some rest, so I do feel better than I did this morning.
The person really has something at the bottom of their calling range. If someone truly had a strong hand, I'd expect them to pause and consider raising. I still don't love seeing the call. I'm not sure what to put the small blind on, but I don't get the sense that he has trips or better.
I'm live for 30 seconds,
the 9 of clubs, giving us a pair of nines.
Jesus
we go
loves
from
you
having
all
no showdown value
here.
at all to having a lot. A strange thing happens here as the opponent leads for 110. He check called 2 streets and then bets river.
He only cares
It's a
about
very
his own
similar line
beliefs.
that a different player took against me in the first hand that we went over. You may remember in that instance,
Lady Gaga is
better missed straight draw
a god.
folded. I'm getting a lot of small hand energy from the opponent in this situation. I already told you that I don't like surrendering. I make the call, but we get some good news.
One pair.
Me too.
Oh, there's a river.
We get lucky to drill a 9 at the end. Otherwise, we would have had to have folded to the river bet. I read throughout
No,
the
we're
hand
not going to do a tattoo tour.
We win another pot on a day when things have mostly gone pretty well. I play for another 2 hours, slowly increasing my stack without getting involved in situations that are all that interesting before racking up.
Why do I bother doing the stream? Because I'm trying to have this conversation in the public light, where more people are aware of it.
The session just ended. Played for 5 hours. I won 1640, and since the beginning of last year, really, since the beginning of 2021, I've been on a really hot streak, and I'm excited that has continued in 2022. So,
what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Making our way through Aria right now to get started with some 2-5 no limit.
Brad Owen,
kind of getting the itch to play some 5 today, but if we do, it probably will be at Bellagio. It's a Wednesday at like 5 p.m. right now, so we're going to see how this session goes here. See
God damn it. Nothing worth value. All right, so we are live. We have 800 and some odd many people in here. And this is the topic. If you have the 1,000 followers and you have the ability to go live, you can send in a guest request and we can have a conversation. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Sweet. Okay, so I just wanted to touch over one thing real quick. I am on your side. I'm not convinced any God claims are true, but I just wanted to point out something for the people in the comment section. If you believe that morality is from any kind of religion, you are 100% wrong. Strictly because morality will be secular. If it wasn't secular, it would not be subjective. The sheer observation of a deviance in morality suggests that the God mentality of morality isn't ingrained the way you think it is.
Well, they seem to think that their whole moral standard is objective. They think it comes from the authority of a God. I'm still waiting for somebody to prove that claim, but I agree with you. It's morality is subjective based on social
Yeah.
standards.
And then also, if God is real and He is benevolent, quote unquote benevolent, He is punishing you by limiting you to the earth that you live on, the world that you live on. Because why would He create a vast universe of beautiful construction, but put you on one little marble? That seems a little bit like punishment.
I appreciate your insight, man.
No problem. I have to go to physical therapy now, so I just wanted to hop
All
on
right.
real quick.
Have a good
Have
one.
a good rest of your life. Peace.
You too. Time really quickly. If you are an atheist and you argue with bad arguments, stop. Matt Dillahunty talks about this a lot on YouTube about atheists using really bad arguments. You are not helping if you have bad arguments. Anyway, moving on. Excuse me.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
How's it going, my friend?
Good. Sorry, I didn't even think I'd get on. But honestly, I really, first of all, I want to say sorry. I just now followed you. I've been watching you for a while, and you just been popping up on my For You page, and I assumed that I was following you, but I just now followed you. So I'm sorry that I haven't followed you sooner.
No, that's fine.
But um, really all I wanted to say is I'm an atheist and everything, and I just wanted to thank you because you like just what you said. Like you can't have bad arguments when it comes to trying to tell other people, and you have said so many like really cool things that I can
I
like
appreciate it.
argue with people now, and I just wanted to say thank you. Like it's hard to because I mean I grew up in a Christian family, and it's really hard to explain to people when they're brainwashed, and you kind of can't sometimes, and you've really helped me out with that. So I just really wanted to say thank you for
Yeah, you can't
all that.
reason people out of something they weren't reasoned into. Um, but sometimes, if you have the right argument, you can stop people in their tracks and make them think. At the
Oh,
very
for sure.
least, if you can accomplish that much, you can plant the seed of doubt and move from there.
Yeah, I mean I mean I've seen you do that. Like you've made people really think. Like they kind of don't know what to say next because you get their brains moving. But I just see it like the guy that we're just on kind of how I kind of believed in God and everything, but how I viewed it is like I kind of view God, whatever, if he was a thing, like if someone got a dog or a cat. I know I'm going off route here, but like if someone got like a dog or a cat and they gave it a home and they gave it everything that it needed, needed in quotation marks, like food, water, and then just left and didn't come back. Like,
Yeah,
I gave that dog a life and, brought it into his world and let it have everything, but then it just left. And then I just left and I just kind of feel like that is like, you can't
right.
justify that. Like you can't, in the real world, you cannot justify that for that, behavior. So that's kind of, that might kind of be stupid, but that's kind of how I
Yeah.
compare it. So. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for
Yeah,
being the voice.
we've all got to understand. We've all got to kind of work these arguments into a way we understand them. My goal is to try to keep them as simple as possible so that everybody understands them, but it may not work.
Yep, I understand that. And I just really just wanted to say thanks for being the voice, a voice, and the I want to say evil against the evilness, but whatever. But
I
yeah,
got you,
just
brother.
Well, thanks, and keep doing what you're doing. It needs to be done, honestly.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for letting me on.
You're welcome, man. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Currently, 12:30, where I live right now, and I have to leave here at 3:30, 4 o'clock ish, because I have bowling league tonight. So, really quick, I need to go throw some clothes in the laundry. Give me 2 minutes. And I'm back. All right, moving on to the next guest request.
Hi.
How's it going?
Okay. So I do believe, but I'm not here to like debate or try to get you to believe what I believe. I respect that not everyone believes what I do, but I am curious, what do you believe happens when we die? Do you just believe that
Nothing.
that's it? You just think that
Yeah,
that's it?
yeah, you're dead.
No
Your
reincarnation,
brain is
nothing?
your brain is the thing that produces your personality and your consciousness. Your brain is what produces your sense of smell, hearing, vision. If you damage any part of your brain, you can fundamentally alter everything about who you are as a person.
Right.
And when you die, that is the ultimate death to the brain. It's
All
no
right. I'm just
longer
curious.
processing chemical and electrical signals, and you're dead. And there's no
Yeah.
evidence of an afterlife beyond that.
I know a guy who's an atheist and he believes in reincarnation though, so I was just curious if that was something.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't have any
Thank you.
evidence for reincarnation either, though. So
Well, thanks for your time. Good luck on your bowling league.
you're welcome. Thank you. Fucking phone.
Yo, how you doing today?
How's it going?
Oh, I'm just chilling, just chilling. You were talking about how after you die, you just die, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but like, if you had a say so, would you want it that way?
No.
Right, right.
If it was
And
up to me, I would never fucking die. If it was up to me, I would have 3 abilities. I would be superhuman, immortal, indestructible, and the ability to fly.
yeah,
If it was
that
up to
would be
me,
really
I
cool.
would essentially be an immortal version of Superman.
Yeah, yeah, that would be really cool to have. And I get it. I get it. I don't judge people based on their beliefs.
I
But
do.
if I was to think
And
about
I
it,
think
like,
I do judge people based on their beliefs, and I think more people need to start.
right,
Racism is a belief. Misogyny is a belief. Homophobia is technically a belief. So is transphobia.
right,
People have shitty behaviors based on their beliefs. And that shit needs to be called out because our beliefs inform our actions and our actions have consequences.
Right.
So if somebody out here has a terrible belief that causes pain, suffering, or harm to another person, then that
Right.
belief needs to be called out.
Right. Right. Because I mean, it's messed up. It's
Well,
messed up.
there's
Like we
this
live in a messed
prevailing
up world.
idea in our society that you can't question a person's beliefs, and that's a terrible fucking idea. Everything should be questioned. Everything.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very valid point. Um, Here's how I look at everything, and I mean it doesn't really matter what I think. Um, so I don't want to just die and die. You know what I'm saying? So the way I look at it is, it's good to believe in something than not to believe in anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my position is that I don't believe in nothing.
Right, and that's okay.
I believe in humanism.
Right.
I just don't have evidence that there's an afterlife.
Right. And another thing is, church nowadays, it's not what it used to be. Everybody's too busy at church telling you what you should and shouldn't do, instead of like connecting yourself with God or building your own relationship with God. So church in itself, I'm not going to say it's all completely bad, but a lot of it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Almost all of it.
But, right.
There's very little of the Christian religion that's actually worth any value. I mean, they help the poor, but the church itself creates the poverty in the first place. You go to a small southern town in, like, I don't care, Georgia, Texas, Alabama. You're driving to a small southern town, and every single house in this town is absolute fucking garbage, beat to shit. People are living in abject poverty, but there's one building in that entire town that's worth the shit, and it's the church.
Yeah.
And they are fleecing this poor, broken town. They are fleecing these people while they're poor, while they're broke, for that 10%. And then once in a while, this church will do some community outreach. What? Have a picnic, fucking breakfast brunch for all the poor people they caused?
That's one of the reasons I kind of stopped going to church.
Well, religion, period, in almost every form, especially in the United States under Christianity, could easily end world hunger. The Baptists, the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Catholics, all of these organizations could end poverty, and they don't.
There's also a lot of rich people that could do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are correct. I actually stopped going to church because it was too what's the word? They judge you too hard at church because of it. You know what I'm saying? Or anything you do in your life, you're not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be strict with it.
Because they set up an unreasonable standard of behavior. That's the Christian religion in a nutshell. You can't not be a sinner. The whole thing stacked against you. That's the whole purpose. It's emotional guilt, manipulation, and control through fear tactics.
Right. But I do believe that it's good to have. I mean, granted, this is just my opinion. I myself believe that it is good to have a relationship with God, but church is not a need, because you can build your own relationship with anybody without going anywhere or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're still have consequences, and those consequences affect other people.
You are right. You are correct.
So I'm a member of the Satanic Temple, and before we get too far off track, I want everybody to understand that the Satanic Temple does not worship or believe in Satan. Really quick, I want to make that obvious. We are a group of atheists that use Satanism as a symbol to fight against Christian tyranny. But we have 7 fundamental tenets. Number 5, one's beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world, and one should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs.
Right.
My beliefs do not harm other people. Unfortunately, no matter how good of a Christian you think you are, your beliefs do cause harm.
Well, I don't use them and throw them at people. You know what I'm saying?
That's not my point.
I don't go over and tell people.
Believing in untrue things inspires ignorance in other untrue things.
Even if you don't talk about them to people?
Let's think about it for a second. At one point, there was no such thing as Methodist, Southern Baptist, Lutheran, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons.
Right.
None of those existed. And there was pretty much only the Roman Catholic Church, and that was it.
Right.
After a while, because some people reinterpreted that religion to fit their own personal narrative.
Okay.
You started seeing denominations form. This ignorance spread from one ignorant idea to another ignorant idea to another ignorant idea. And it got so bad that today there are children who have Jehovah's Witnesses parents, and that child is going to die on a hospital bed because they won't allow a blood transfusion or a surgery.
Yeah, that's
so that's what I mean. Because Catholics don't believe that, right? They don't believe in that nonsense. But you break it down, you move that needle down the line, eventually it gets to something stupid. I think Catholics have their own fair share of stupid already. Literal transubstantiation, the idea that the cracker and the fucking wine actually physically turn into flesh and blood in your body is disgusting.
Right. Well, that's actually just like representing. But you were talking about the Catholic. Those are all like religions. So what I was saying earlier was religion nowadays is technically what you're saying. It's forceful. It's making you do all this different types of stuff, which is why I said church.
The definition of the word religion is a belief in God or gods.
Right.
Like, you want to yell at the church, that's fine. But religion is believing in a god or gods. Okay. And it still doesn't change the fact that these beliefs cause harm, whether you're aware of it or not. You don't live in a vacuum.
Right.
You live in a society with other people. Your beliefs inform your vote. And let's say that you're a single issue voter. You vote Republican purely because they're against abortion.
Right.
You don't give a shit about the rest of the policies that they instill. You know, you don't care that DeSantis is doing his bullshit in public school, making it illegal to talk for teachers to talk about marginalized groups. You don't give a shit about the law being passed in Oklahoma. But a student's parents can sue a teacher for $10,000 if that teacher in any way offends the student's religious freedoms.
Right.
You don't give a shit. The consequences that will come from banning abortion. There was a reason Roe v. Wade was established. We had societal problems that we had to deal with, and Roe v. Wade fixed them. But nobody gives a fuck to read the history of that shit. They just have their moral, righteous highness. They're going to sit on their fucking horse, look down on everybody else, trying to I'm for the fetus. But as soon as that child's born, they don't give a fuck about the mother. They don't give a fuck about the baby. They don't give a fuck about jack shit in regards to any of it, just while it's unborn.
Right. I feel like the world in itself is flawed.
They don't care that forcing abortion is going to raise suicide rates amongst women. They don't care that it's going to raise domestic abuse situations. They don't care that it's going to raise infant mortality rates. They don't care that more women are going to die in pregnancy and childbirth. And they don't care about the fucking poverty that it's going to cause.
Right.
One belief, one belief from Christianity. That's only one. That doesn't include the anti-gay, anti-science, anti-education, like their fucking whole thing is anti-human.
Right. But is it because we put these people on a high pedestal, and since they have this power, they can throw their beliefs out there into the world and make people believe it? You know what I'm saying?
Evangelicals get away with what they get away with because regular Christians don't stand against them. Regular Christians believe it.
Right.
You may
Well,
not be an evangelical. Fuck, for all I know, you could be a great guy.
right.
But your beliefs harm others, period. There's
Gotcha.
no way to argue against that.
And yeah, I mean, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to have like a civil conversation, and it's working out pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's good to understand each other and others' point of view instead of just arguing about it. But yeah, I mean, I get it, man. It's the world in
Look,
itself is
my
flawed.
position isn't to stop people from believing what they want. My position is that they do it correctly. They do it with thought in mind. You can have
Right.
your belief, but recognize that it is your own personal journey. And it has nothing to do with anybody else in your life or anywhere else. It's just for you. That's between you and your God and your beliefs. And that's where it should stop.
Right. Right. And that's what I do. That is exactly what I do. I don't throw anything on anybody, especially about my beliefs. I don't. It's just it's good to talk about things every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Especially with people who have different outlooks on it. Because that gives you a better understanding of different views. And it's not necessarily a
For
bad
instance,
thing.
with
You know what I'm saying?
the abortion thing, life isn't easy. We've got to make difficult decisions all the fucking time. And there are better ways to deal with abortion than just outright banning it. You know,
Right.
education, sex education leads to lower unwanted teen pregnancies, which would lower abortion rates. Making
Right.
contraceptive care for women absolutely free instead of breaking their back on that shit would reduce abortion rates. But
Right.
that's Christians vote against that shit all the time. Conservatives constantly vote against contraceptive care for women. They constantly vote against sex ed in public schools.
Right.
They don't want real solutions. The only thing that matters to a Christian is their personal beliefs, and that's it. They don't give a fuck about the solutions or the consequences. And that's
Right.
obvious in the greater Christian community.
Right. You were speaking on abortions. Now I can see, like, if somebody was in, I don't want to get censored or get you banned for it, but if they were the R word and they had a kid from that person that did it to them, I could see why that would be a good reason to have an abortion. The only bad, or the side of my brain that's telling me that it would be wrong to have it, is because it would be a life. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it works both ways for me. It's just,
Yeah, except your Bible
it's like,
doesn't describe it that way. There Christians fuck off and don't know what they're talking about when it comes to their religion. Describe life at beginning
right.
and first breath. And God has a position of abortion. He actually teaches you how to do it in case a wife is unfaithful. The drinking of the bitter water.
He teaches. Oh, you're talking about
Yes.
alcohol, the bitter water? I didn't know
No,
that. I did not know that.
not alcohol. It's the
What is?
drinking of the bitter water. You can Google it. But the basic idea was, if a man suspects his wife of being unfaithful, he's pregnant, he can take her before the town elders and
Right.
make drink of the bitter water. And if she is unfaithful, she will abort.
Right. You're kind of lagging a little bit. So it's kind of
And that's
like
God.
cutting.
That's how God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it.
Hey man, I appreciate you talking with me about this.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's much better.
Not a problem, brother.
Um,
See, the problem I've had is that most Christians, while professing a belief in this God, have no interest in learning who this God is or what this God says. All they want to do is
Right.
go to church on Sunday and feel better about themselves. But I've actually read that fucking Bible more than once.
Right.
And I studied the culture and the anthropology behind it. Christians
Right.
don't do that shit.
Yeah. I don't know,
Because
man.
apparently reading is hard.
It's in my eyes, the Bible is kind of hard to interpret, is really what it is. Because
That's kind of the problem with it, isn't it?
Right. right, and everybody tries to interpret it in their own ways, and we don't know, or we think we do, but I mean, it could mean so many different
And
things.
see,
It
that's
could,
my position. That's my exact position as an atheist. My position isn't that there is no God. I've never once made that claim. My position
right,
is neutral. If tomorrow there's evidence of a God, well, then I'll believe in God. For
right,
right now, there is no evidence, and I have no good reason to believe it.
right. So what I'm taught is, so I've had a problem with the evidence thing. So what I was always taught was faith, which I mean, you could have
Faith
faith the
is not
size of a mustard seed.
faith is not a pathway to the truth.
Right,
Faith is a pathway to ignorance, man. People do stupid shit on just faith, especially blind faith.
right, right. I get it. I understand. Um,
But again, with this live, it is never my intention to strip people of their belief in God. My
right,
position with live is to make this conversation public so that we can look at our society and say, you know what, we're fucking up.
right,
Because right now, the loudest voices in the fucking room are evangelical Christians who are desperately trying to strip people of their actual rights.
right,
Right now, Greg Locke is burning books and posting that shit to social media. Other groups are following him all over the country. I've seen like 2 or 3 videos.
they're burning
This shit
books.
is leading to insanity.
I did not know that. They're burning what kind of books are they burning? Just books in general?
Shit like Harry Potter. I
No.
remember once that Andrew Seidel, who's a constitutional lawyer, he wrote a book called The Founding Myth. And he actually sent a copy to Greg Locke because Greg Locke is one of those people who thinks that this is a Christian nation. Greg Locke burnt that book in his fucking driveway on social media. He made a fucking video of him. He didn't even read the book. He just straight up went out to his fucking driveway and burnt it right there on the spot.
I feel like no book should be burned at all.
Yeah, I agree. Even the
Just
Bible. As
right,
much as I dislike that book, I would prefer we look at it as in the same way we look at Shakespeare, as a piece of literature, not
right,
as a piece of, not as a thing where we get to control everybody's behavior.
right, right, right. It's bringing it back that Fahrenheit 451 vibes where all everybody was burning all the books and
Yeah.
the firemen and stuff.
I remember
But
that
hey, man,
story when I was a kid.
right. It was a good book. It was a really good book.
It was a really good book.
But hey, man, I appreciate you letting me come on here and talk to you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate your insight, man, and I appreciate you being willing to have the conversation.
Thank you. You too. You too. You have a good one.
Take it easy, my friend.
Before we go too much further, I want to point this out, my Venmo and my Cash App. If you think that this conversation is worth anything, please feel free to donate. If you don't think that what I'm doing is worth jack shit, you can go to my, you can go and tell me to fuck off. That's fine. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not going to create a Patreon or none of that bullshit. Purely voluntary. I'm still going to make this content regardless of whether or not I receive donations. It's fine. But it does help. All right, moving on. God damn this fucking phone, man. I need to buy an actual cell phone holder to make sure this thing doesn't fucking fall all the time. It's fucking warm in here. Whew. All right, so we're having connection issues with that young, I think, lady, so we're going to move on. And we're going to move to Josh.
Hello, my friend.
What's going on, man?
Going pretty good. I'm going with you.
Oh man, just it's my day off. Just living the dream, man.
One day at a time, brother.
So I just to let you know, I am a Christian, but
Okay.
I respect other people's religions or non-religions. So
I don't.
well, and that's your belief. That's you know.
I don't find any value in respecting beliefs that harm other people.
Well, so my personal belief, like I'm not trying to harm people. My belief really goes a little bit deeper than that. Like I'm not trying to harm people. I think everybody should love everybody regardless of what their beliefs are.
I think
Because I've done a little bit of research
rather than assertion of authority.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that, and you know, I get it. Like but I've also done some research into a bunch of different religions, and like you said, I wouldn't call Satanism a religion.
It is, but it's a non-theistic religion.
Yeah, because you don't believe in any kind of deity.
Nope.
Right? Yeah, because that's the difference between Satanism and Luciferian, right?
Luciferian is a theistic religion.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I learned a couple of the tenets. And I think the first one is like one should strive to act with compassion, empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing, man. I completely and totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think everybody would be hard pressed to look at the 7 fundamental tenets of the Satanic Temple and actually disagree with any of them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the deal with me. I am a Christian, like I said before. But I mean, I also respect other people's religion because it's, you know, it's their personal views, right? I'm not trying to put my Christian beliefs on other people. I don't shove it in their face. And that's what I believe. I'm sorry?
Do your beliefs impact the way you vote?
No, absolutely not. No, they do not. They do not. The way that I vote, so I am a registered Republican. I will tell you that. But I have also voted Democrat as well.
Okay.
Because I believe, you know, not just like straight voting Republican.
Right. I think that there should be some crossover.
So like the thing is like if a proposal or a proposition, whatever, comes up and it's a Democrat proposal and I like it, I'll vote for it. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and that's what I think I wish we were doing. I don't like the idea that we're voting for representatives, considering they don't actually represent jack shit except their own personal interests. I think we should be voting on the issues specifically.
It's all red tape bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all it is, man.
To be honest with you, it's Americans' fault. It's the population's fault. We're the ones that keep allowing this to happen. We don't have to let this shit happen.
And
we
you know
can stop this shit in its tracks at any fucking time. But the American people are too busy fighting over fucking clickbaity bullshit like fucking critical race theory, which isn't even what people think it is. They've been misled to believe it's this one thing when actually it's this other thing. But
absolutely.
The religion is the emperor's favorite toy. Do you understand what that means? In order to maintain power over the masses, the emperor or the leaders, the people who run the show will use that button to control people's behavior.
Yeah, you are right to an extent, because like I believe
religion is an emotional position.
Well, like for me personally, right? I'm not gonna let somebody tell me what the fuck to do. You know,
it's not about telling you what to do. It's about manipulating you to do it.
They can't manipulate me if I already believe a certain thing.
Oh, they can. How many single issue voters out there right now vote on the on the Republican side of things just solely purely because of abortion, and that's it?
Okay, but you're talking about other people. I'm talking about myself.
Well, I can't individually call out 240 million American Christians.
And you're correct about that. You're correct
look
about
at
that.
the behavior of the entire community and make observations based on that.
And here's the thing. Like, you know what's sad is that, and I'm not getting into the religion part about it. I'm getting into the fact that, like, this country is so divided, right? But the only thing that seems to bring us together as a country is tragedies.
Yep.
Take 9/11, for instance.
We as human beings love to count the misses and hate to count the hits.
Yep.
So news organizations, and this is my issue with media. News organizations found out in the 1920s and 30s that good news doesn't equal attention. People don't give a fuck about good news. They don't want to hear it. They don't care. But if there's something in the paper that's dramatic,
if there's something horrible,
something horrible, people will eat that shit up.
Yep.
And that's how media became a business, because there was a time in this country when news organizations didn't make money telling the news. It was an hour long on the fucking television or whatever, and
Walter
Cronkite. These are the facts.
Yep.
But in 1994, when Murdoch came out with Fox News Entertainment, he turned it into something it should have never been. He turned it into a money-making machine.
Here's the thing. I don't even fucking watch the news anymore. I'm so sick of it. Because even pardon my language, guys, in the comment, but even the news is fucking divided.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It is straight up bullshit.
Which I blame Murdoch and Fox News. Because what people don't understand about Fox News is that it's not an actual news organization. It's like the conservative version of the fucking Onion. It's an entertainment network. Murdoch even stated when he started that shit in 1994 that this is an entertainment network. This isn't actually telling the news. And people fall for it. Literally, Tucker Carlson's show is the #1 news organization show in the country. And that man went to court, was it 2 years ago or a couple years ago for defamation?
I thought before he passed away, it was Rush Limbaugh, though.
No, it was Murdoch that started it, and it's
no. I'm talking about the #1.
Rush Limbaugh was the #1 for a while, but Tucker Carlson went to court for a defamation case a few years back, and his literal defense in court, was no rational person would listen to what I have to say. That was his defense, and he won that court case. He won the defamation case based on that. No rational person would believe what I have to say.
Look. Here's the thing. Like I've told you, man, I'm conservative, but even I think Fox News is bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I stopped.
The 3 most neutral news organizations in the world: BBC, ABC News, and NPR. They're neutral. They do very well with staying in the middle line.
I do like BBC for their funny English comedies though at night.
Yeah.
You have to admit that.
My
Like
point
Mrs.
being,
Brown's
my
Boys.
point being that you stand alone in your beliefs, man. Yes, there are other Christians who are like you, but like I said with the other guy, the loudest voice in the room right now is evangelicals, and everyday Christians like you are giving them that power. You're doing nothing to stand up against them. You're voting in favor of them.
I don't believe I'm voting in favor
You
for
are.
them.
You are. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Ted Cruz. These fuckwits exist because people are voting for them.
I didn't vote for Ted Cruz or any
Well,
of them.
Right.
So
That's not my point. You're missing my point, though.
Yeah. Okay.
You might not have voted for them directly, but you have tacitly endorsed them.
I get what you're saying. Okay. So let me ask you this.
Trump is literally the reason why, was it just over 60% of Americans think that we will hit a civil war in the next 5 years. This is a literal fault. This is a consequence of people voting for Donald Trump.
Here's the thing. I think we're already in a civil war.
I've heard that theory before.
Like not a literal civil war like the previous one. But I'm just talking about like in general. Because like I said, the nation is so divided.
Look, Donald Trump was such a fucking plebe that his entire cabinet was corrupt evangelical Christians. His vice president, when he was governor of Indiana, voted in favor of conversion therapy camps, which we know for a fact cause a higher rate of suicide amongst gay people. Conservatives don't have a plan for the economy, don't have a plan for education, don't have a plan for immigration, don't have a plan for jack shit other than own the fucking libs. Now, don't get me wrong, Democrats ain't perfect. They're a bunch of spineless little shits that are trying to maintain the status quo also. But that's the politicians. The Democratic people, liberals, Democrats, progressives, people.
Democratic, the people in general.
Yeah, their goal is to build a utopia. They want equality. They want better education. They want universal health care. They want everybody in this country to be taken care of. That's their goal. Now, I don't necessarily agree how they're trying to go about it. But their goal is a fuck of a lot more virtuous than the Christian conservatives' goal, which is to create a theocracy in the United States. And that's the direction that party is moving in, creating a theocracy. They are writing laws based on a Christian fucking purview.
Well, I mean, even in the Constitution, a lot of people state that the United States was, quote unquote, born under a Christian view. That is not true.
No, it isn't.
Absolutely not. That is
Founding
absolutely
fathers
not
were
true.
deists. I think the only real Christian in that group was Madison. But
There
Thomas Paine was damn near a fucking atheist.
Thomas Jefferson was a Christian as well, but the country was not
nominally Christian.
The country was not created based on Christianity, guys.
No, it was not.
Everybody in the chat. That is a common fact that people believe, which it is not true.
It's like what Christians try to do all the time, whitewash history. That's what they do. They try to rewrite history to make it always seem like they're the good guys, but they never take responsibility for the bad shit they've done. Christians use the Bible to condone slavery, Jim Crow, segregation. They use the Bible to condone fighting against women's rights to own property and vote. And today they're using the Bible to fight against gay people and other people's rights.
And
anybody would want to be a part of that based on its behavior.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say that if you're gay, you're going to hell. Nowhere.
Sorry, give me a quick second. My mom is blowing up my phone. I'll be
No
right
worries,
back.
man. No worries, man.
Yo. What?
No, it doesn't. It does not. Look it up. I'm Christian too. But it does not say anywhere in the Bible that being gay will send you to hell.
Just no. Yeah.
I am Christian. Absolutely. And you know what? You know what? Maybe I read the book wrong, so I apologize if I read it wrong. But I've read the whole Bible, but I do not believe that I've seen a passage in the Bible saying, "Mention not where what." Yeah, no. Okay. I'm saying what I was saying was that you'll go to hell if you lay with another man, like as a man, and those are my pronouns for whoever gets offended. So I apologize, guys, if I didn't read it correctly. Didn't the Pope say there's nothing wrong with being gay? You know what? The newest Pope did. And honestly, like, you know what? It doesn't affect me. If you're gay, just be you. Like in the Bible, you know, it said, you know, Jesus even Jesus said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, and I respect all your guys' opinions. You know, I believe what I believe. You know, you're not gonna change my opinion. So exactly. So a lot of people tell me that I look like Morgan Wallen. A lot of people have told me that I look like Morgan Wallen. Also, I've gotten Silent Bob. Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I have a very open mind. Like, I love looking into other religions, right? I like looking into other religions, other people's political views. Yeah, I don't see it either. I do not. No. I do not claim any of them. I do not claim that I look like Morgan Wallen or Kevin Smith. Absolutely not. I do not claim that I look like either of them. I'm just telling you that people have told me that I look like both of them. They have also told me that I look like that I look like a cracked out version of Scott Stapp, who is the lead singer of Creed. I mean, hey, to each their own opinion. It is what it is, you know. You know, if everybody has their opinion. I don't care. I mean, okay, so everybody's saying God is real and whatnot. Me personally, I do believe God is real. No, I don't have any God claims or proof or anything like that. But Christianity is a faith-based religion. So, you know, I believe what I believe. I'm not worried about anybody else. If you don't believe in God, it's not going to affect my sleep at night. So, it is what it is. And here's the thing, like, I respect other people's opinions. If you don't believe in God, like I said, it's not going to affect my sleep at night. But I do respect your opinion. Well, okay, so you feel like faith could lead to my death. Okay. You know what? It might. But if it does, hey, at least I'll go peacefully. I mean, okay, so I do not have any proof that there is a God at all, guys. Like I said, I'm a Christian, but I'm just going on faith. That's it. No, I don't feel like I'm part of a Christian cult because of the fact that I don't go to church at all. I do not go to church. I do not go to church, but you know, I mean, I still believe. It is what it is. Why do I believe? That's actually a very good question. I don't know why I believe. Maybe it's because I choose to believe. Spin that pin again. Yeah, I mean, I choose to believe. That's it. Yes, I do just choose to believe. And I'm not getting mad about it. It's my decision. And like I said, I have never seen any evidence of God or anything like that. But it's just my opinion, guys. Can't you just respect my opinion? Like I have the right to choose what religion I believe in. Like I'm not, like I said, I'm not getting mad, and I respect all of y'all's opinions as well. God is light. I respect your opinion. That's the thing you don't choose. Yeah, I do. Because in my religion, God gives us free will. That's just my opinion. So
now that I've managed to sway my fucking mother's concern for my well-being,
I held the fort for you, buddy.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We were on the topic of people's. Okay, so as I discussed with the other gentleman before you, people's beliefs inform their actions, whether they're aware of it or not. We don't live in a vacuum. We live in a society with each other. And when you vote conservative, that means you're hurting other people.
Well, hold on. Because apparently you didn't listen to me earlier, because I told you that I voted conservative and Democrat.
I know. I listened to you. I heard you. And
Okay,
yet I don't think single thing of value when it comes to voting conservatives at all. I don't give a shit what they have to say. Because right now, conservatives have made our education system a fucking nightmare. Now, don't get me wrong, Democrats haven't helped. But this bullshit freedom of choice for parents needs to go the fuck away. We don't need charter schools. We don't need private schools. We don't need none of that bullshit. You're taking away opportunities from children, and you're creating inequality right at the beginning. So schools are largely funded by property tax. If you live in a broke-ass down fucking area, then you're going to go to a broke-ass fucking school. But if you live in a high-end rich area, you're going to go to a nice fucking school. And this is bullshit. There should be one standard across the board for every kid to give them the best opportunity, which means our school systems need to be funded exactly the same.
Yeah.
And we need to get rid of charter schools, religious schools, private schools, this homeschooling bullshit. But that's what conservatives do. They have literally turned our education system into a fucking nightmare. And it's based on rich people like Bezos. Bezos doesn't want an educated youth population. He wants dumb fucking idiots, uneducated, ignorant, and stupid, who are going to work 80 hours a fucking week.
Here's the thing. You're absolutely correct. You were abso-fucking-lutely correct, man. 100%. So the thing that I wanted to say is, so I really so I did some thinking, while you were gone talking to your mother. How's she doing, by the way?
Oh, she's working on it. My mother and I have a tenuous relationship. She was not the greatest person in my life for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
To this day, when she gets drunk, she will fucking angry call me. Today, she wasn't drunk, so I was lucky.
There we go. So, and I was actually doing some thinking while you were away. And I would actually put myself more towards libertarian.
Still a ways to go.
Because I love small government, but I still like smoking weed.
Well, the thing is, if the American public would pull its fucking head out of its ass, they wouldn't need the government to do jack shit other than protect or defend your rights. There was no reason the U.S. Supreme Court should have had to rule on same-sex marriage in the first place. If Christians would have shut the fuck up and leave people the fuck alone, then the government wouldn't have had to step the fuck in. And now you have an entire population of people who seem to think that the federal government needs to do this, do that, do this, and do that, because the American people won't fucking do it themselves.
Yeah.
You want to deal with the income inequality in this country? Everybody needs to unionize. Walmart, McDonald's, Target, all of these companies need to form unions, because then, as a union employee, you get to negotiate your wage, time off, benefits, all of that shit. And you don't have to wait on the federal government to make up these fucking laws they're never going to fucking make up.
Yeah. And here's what I'm saying. Like, I guess I'm saying mostly because I don't like getting political. I really don't.
Unfortunately, religion is so tied into politics on the right now that there's no way to avoid it.
Exactly. So like that's what I'm saying. Like pretty much any live that I go in, it's gonna get political at some point. You know what I'm saying? So
but, whether as far as libertarian or third party goes, I don't give them any credit either. Again, they're part of the reason why Donald Trump won in 2016.
And you know what?
Voted because they didn't like either candidate. Conservatives would never even win a presidential election if it wasn't for the fucking electoral college, because they make up less than a third of the country. More than 60% of Americans want healthy access to abortion. Right now, 20% of the country, which is evangelicals, are the ones that are trying to crush it.
Here's the thing. That's your opinion.
That's not an opinion, it's a fact.
No. I'm saying your opinion is your opinion. My opinion is my opinion. Why don't we just leave it at that?
Because I'm tired of watching people suffer due to the uninformed opinions of other people.
Here's the thing. I'm not suffering.
You're not.
You know, I love everybody. And you know what? I try to go out of my way to help everybody.
You kind of missed the point there, bud.
No, I'm not only thinking of myself. No, because of what he said earlier. He said your opinion only matters to you, and my opinion only matters to me.
Correct.
So no, it wasn't
what you believe informs your actions, and your actions have consequences. Now, great, okay, you might be in one of those Christians that doesn't try to force your beliefs onto others.
Correct.
It's great, fine. But unfortunately, in this day and age, if you're voting on the conservative side of anything, you're tacitly endorsing those evangelicals to do what they do. And if you're a Christian and you're not standing up and speaking against those extremists, you're tacitly endorsing what they do. A great analogy: if you're walking down the street, you look into an alley and you see a man beating the shit out of a woman and robbing her, and you just keep on fucking walking, you're a part of the problem. You're actually worse than the dude doing the attacking in the first place. You look at conservative Christians and you see them stripping people's rights to bodily autonomy, to be able to discuss matters for the LGBTQ, voting rights. You see these fuckers doing bad shit, and you don't do or say anything about it. You are tacitly fucking endorsing that behavior.
Yeah, you're right.
You're indifferent. The only thing more evil than evil itself is the indifference of good men and women.
Yeah, you are correct. And I saw some people in the comments saying that like I'm like being hypocritical or going back on myself, kind of flip-flopping. I didn't mean to.
I don't think you're flip-flopping. I think that you're open enough to understand that you can learn more.
Yeah.
That's fine. People make mistakes. We believe wrong things. We do wrong things with good intentions. My only purpose in this conversation is to make this shit light so that people can think about it. And so provided you're thinking about it, I'm fucking happy as a clam.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I told you when I first joined the box, that I love learning about all kinds of religions and people with politics and whatnot. Like, I mean, me personally, I love everybody. Whether you're Christian, Satanist.
Well, then do what makes sense when involved with loving everybody. It's not just enough to say it. You got to follow through on it.
Oh,
I genuinely care about everybody. I want everybody to have equality. I want everybody to have every opportunity to live the life they want to live.
I mean, I really do.
That comes from better education. That comes from telling these rich elite fucks to go fuck themselves and get out of politics. They don't need to lobby on Congress. We need to end lobbyists. That's some bullshit that shouldn't be happening. We need to do a lot to fix our political theater. But Americans don't want to fucking risk what they have.
I think
people aren't unionizing because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick, if you don't mind. I think they do, but they're scared to.
Yeah, they've been literally manipulated by the powers that be. As I said, religion is the emperor's favorite fucking toy. They use that emotional manipulation. They use that gullibility against them. And they fall for it every fucking time. Tucker Carlson wants to get on TV and talk about how he's no longer sexually attracted to a non-existent fucking chocolate M&M because they changed her shoes. And people think that's a fucking argument that they should care about.
And I remember that. That was stupid.
Everything that comes out of Tucker Carlson's face is fucking stupid.
Some of his stuff is actually pretty prolific.
No.
Some of it. Not all of it.
I have watched Tucker Carlson, and there's never been a moment where that dude said something where I was like, he has a point. Never.
What about
one.
What about Greg Gutfeld?
I don't know who that is.
He's on the 5.
Don't know what that is.
Oh, well, never mind. Anyways, hey, I know you got a lot of people probably waiting in the box, man. So I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry for keeping you for so long.
No, that's all right.
So, but hey, man, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
You too,
pleasure
brother.
To talk to you, man. So I glad we could have differing views and still have a civil conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, guys in the chat, take it easy.
Have a good one.
You too.
We can do wrong things for good reasons, right? We can have the best intentions and still fuck up and do wrong things. And I'm sorry, but any vote for the Republican Party at this point is a tacit endorsement of Christian evangelicalism, which is going to fuck up everything for everybody. Do we really want a religious war in the United States? I don't care about your belief in God. Separate that from this conversation at the moment. Think about the behavior of people. Do you really, really want a war based on Christianity in the United States? Think about the consequences of that for just a tenth of a fucking second. If you respect other people's right to have beliefs, if you respect other people's rights, period, I see a couple people in the comments saying, yes, we should absolutely have a Christian war. You are a fucking idiot. Either that or you're lying through your fucking teeth. I don't believe you. I don't care if you think God is great or God is king. I don't give a fuck. I care about the consequences.
Hello. Can't hear you. Sean, I am getting no audio from you, brother. Still no audio, man. You're going to have to try again.
The consequences of the Christian God are peace and love? No, they're fucking not. Look around you. How blind are you that you can't see what your religion is doing to this fucking country? You do not get to use your religion to strip the rights of other people. That is inappropriate as fuck. And the most hateful people in the room right now are fucking Christians. Period. No, the Bill of Rights is not based off of Christianity. That is an untrue fucking statement. I don't care if God is hearing this. I don't give a fuck. I care that people don't suffer. That's my concern. I care that people do not suffer.
Hello, my friend.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. How are we doing?
Oh, another day. Living a dream.
I can tell. This is the first time I've ran across your page. I've actually liked what I've watched so far. Myself, I'm based in Oklahoma. I grew up Southern Baptist. I grew up in church and all that. I'm not Christian, which bums my family out, but
I'm sure it
is
does.
what it is.
Coming from Oklahoma. How you like that new bill they're trying to pass?
I don't. Not a fan of the state I live in politically.
Why isn't Oklahoma one of the fucking made the Bible their state book?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on our last election they had counted 0.6% of our votes and already counted us red. So that'd be the state I live in. Anyway, the part I was getting to, I was gonna more come in here and ask you a question on the God thing more than the politics.
Go for it.
And this is the only thing that I've had I tell my family. It's just I don't believe in the Christian part. I believe in a God, and the only reason I do is because going back as far as you want to go back in any of the theories, Big Bang Theory or anything, you have to get something. Somebody has to create the first thing.
Negative.
That's
you don't need an agency. We have no evidence that an agency of any kind is required to start what we call the Big Bang. For all we know,
but I do know
a natural cause.
But you have to. What I'm saying is, before anything existed, ever.
Yeah.
How do you get something from nothing?
Yeah, that's not the position of a scientist. Nobody has ever said that everything came from nothing. That's the Christian position. There was God, and then magic, poof, something from nothing happened.
That's fair.
But that's not the scientific perspective. What we say is we don't know.
Right. I don't. You are correct. You are correct.
And we don't know. And the idea that we could make assumptions or assert a God into that position that we don't know anything about is not intellectually honest.
Okay. Well, the more
My
the
position
reason
as an atheist is to remain neutral. I don't know if there's a God, which makes me agnostic, and I'm not convinced of a God due to insufficient evidence, which makes me an atheist.
an agnostic atheist. Yes, I'm an agnostic theist because I don't claim that there's proof, but I do believe that there's some kind of higher power. And the only reason, one of my many reasons, I guess, I had a daughter pass away a couple years ago, and the only thing that keeps me not wanting to fucking jump off a bridge is, the possibility of getting to see her again.
I'm sorry, brother.
It happens, and it was a terrible time.
Can't be easy.
Yeah, it's not, but that's the only thing that, that's the only reason I have that position that I do have. As far as what I've listened and I wish you could talk to my parents. Because
depending on the parent's age, you might be, barking up the wrong tree.
They're my parents are awesome people. They're just very, I don't know how to explain it. They were shocked when I told them I wasn't a Christian. And I was like, yeah, well, this is my reasoning and yada yada yada. And that was years ago now, but here I sit, and they're in their 60s, so. But
yeah, it's I have a grandmother who's in her, I think, early 80s right now, and I've tried to have this conversation with her, and I've brought all of the best arguments that I have available, and she will not think beyond her belief. She will not question it.
My grandmother on my mom's side is the same exact way. Way.
My mom actually gave me some perspective on this one day. She said, you got to understand something about your grandmother. She didn't have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all this other shit when she was growing up.
Right.
When they did something social that involved community, it was the church. Her whole childhood, whole life, everything about the community she grew up in was church related.
That's fair.
And you can't break somebody of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. And one of the things that was keeping me down, man, about social media, I deleted my Facebook and everything because it just became a pissing contest. Everybody
it's
just
how you use it. That's the problem. People don't understand. We have too many extremists in modern times. Too many people on one very fucking far side of this and on the other very far side of this. And the solution is moderation. You get to control the content that shows up on your Facebook feed. That algorithm is responding to things that you click on. If you're clicking on bullshit, that's all you're ever going to get.
Fair. Yeah. The algorithms are like that. But the thing that was getting me about Facebook wasn't because I was seeing fucked up shit. It was because I was seeing people that I knew that is not who they are. You know what I mean? That they're representing themselves in a totally different light than the actual person that they are.
Yeah. Social media
is what gets me.
Well, we are two different people. Every single person on this planet is two different people. You're trapped in that cycle. There's the person you truly are. And then there's the person that you developed to protect who you truly are. Because unfortunately, our society, we give too much of ourselves to the opinions of others. I am now 39 years old. A lot of my personality was developed by me to protect me from other people. I know the real me. I understand who I really am, and I'm getting closer to that every day because I developed a very simple solution to my social anxiety. I stopped giving a fuck. Under no circumstances will I give a remote fuck about people's opinions of me ever the fuck again.
Yes, man, that was a big, big thing for me and my wife, man. We had to drop a lot of family members, friends, and stuff like that just because, man, you take time out of your day for people, but they'll turn their back on you as fast as
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
friendships come and go, and that's fine.
mhm,
Family isn't necessarily the best thing for you. If it's toxic, you
agreed.
need to get the fuck out of your life.
Absolutely.
Why my mom is at arm's length. I took that phone call. That's the first time I've talked to her in like 3 weeks.
Dang.
She was
I've,
she was literally the most toxic person in my life growing up.
yeah,
And
we
I don't,
had to separate too.
I keep her at arm's length. I don't let her in.
Right.
But
Now, this being that I live in, so I also earlier on your last conversation about schooling and everything like that. I am I have 4 kids, so the take this however you may. My oldest, she just doesn't care. She doesn't care about much in school. She she is more worried about just
how old
social
is she?
thing. She's 8. Well, let me explain. Let me explain. Let me
man.
explain. Let me finish. You got to let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have an 8-year-old, and then I have a 5-year-old that's totally opposite. Okay. She
Yeah.
is all about education, wants to learn everything and anything and all the things she possibly can. So I've got 2 different kiddos that are learning at 2 different paces, and it's hard to have everybody have the exact same type of education whenever one person learns at a little bit more of a faster pace than another person does.
Yeah.
So that is the
my
only.
position with that education thing was the not every child is going to grow at the same rate as every other child.
Yeah.
That's not my position. My position is that if we have one singular standard, that means every kid across the board has a similar opportunity. Now, there is some obvious changes that need to be made to the education system in the first place. Personally, if I was to rebuild the entire system, K through 6 would be getting just the very basic understanding, basic math, basic history, basic, science, basic grammar in English or whatever, and add fundamentally to that critical thinking skills and social skills.
Okay.
Because if you're teaching these things, then you're stopping that bully system and that victim system that we see so much of.
Okay.
Then you move in from 6th grade to 7th. From 7th through 12th grade, you are focusing on a child's strengths. What things do they love to learn about?
Okay.
What things do they want to be engaged with?
Okay.
Because
this is what I wanted to hear.
If you give them that control, you are giving them a sense of pride, something they can latch onto and run with. And that's what we need to be doing.
Yes, dude, this is exactly what I wanted to hear. This is okay. I wanted to get more of your position on that. That's exactly where I was after.
Because
So
I'm sick and tired of watching the school district just defile a child's fucking curiosity. The worst thing about our education system, and I think a lot of our parenting problems in this country, is that we crush a child's natural curiosity for the world and everything else.
Someone in your chat just said
to watch that.
Somebody in your chat just said, "Why not build on weaknesses?" And I can tell you, there's a couple of reasons. Because once people get to a certain point, they don't give a fuck about their weaknesses.
I don't give a fuck about math. I am 39 years old and I have hated fucking math since junior high. I hate it.
Right, exactly. If you don't have a genuine interest, you aren't going to give a shit.
You get the basics down. You understand simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, simple. And that's enough to get you through life. You don't need trigonometry and calculus and geometry and all that other goofy shit. It's just fucking noise. You're almost never going to apply that shit to your everyday life.
I agree.
But if you're going to college and your degree is something that's you're good at, you're basing your degree on the fact that you're good at math, then sure, run with it. Be my guest. I want people to be able to have a sense of pride in what they do. Right now, we don't have that in our society. We don't have it at all. We've got people working at Walmart who look like they're dead inside.
Yep, I agree. It's been our country. I've had this conversation with my dad, and he, they were talking about stuff in the Midwest and all these things about like war and all that. My dad's like, I'd go over there and all that, and I was like, okay, come on now, like,
all right, paintballer.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on. Like, I understand that you're all welled up with national pride and everything, but that's just not how it works. But
I went into the Army, and one of the fucking guys I was with in my training unit literally joined the military with a brand new wife and like brand new daughter. And his reason was revenge for 9/11. To this day, I wish I would have punched him in his fucking jaw.
Yeah.
Because of all the fucking dumbass reasons you join the U.S. military and leave behind a beautiful family, that's the worst one I've ever fucking heard.
Yep. There was a lot that had that as their reason, though. Now, there's some people that had some skin in the game that actually affected personal things, and I understand.
I don't know that revenge is always the best motivator, though.
I agree, but sometimes you got to put anger somewhere.
Yeah.
But as far as the politics in this country, I think you're right on. I think it's been that way for a long time. Now, the crazy thing about my parents, they're super Christian, but they're also super liberal. They're super liberal, so they.
Well, there's that denotation in the conversation. Every fucking conservative Christian seems to think that every liberal is an atheist, an anti-God, and a devil worshiper and shit. I'm like, no,
not at all.
The vast majority of liberal Americans, regardless of political affiliation, is Christian. Period.
Yep, my entire family is super Christian, excluding my brother. My brother is along the lines of me, but other than that, my entire family is very, very Christian and very, very liberal.
If a politician was to run on the idea that they were an atheist, dude, they would never win an election in this country. Never.
Right. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, man. Just these past, especially with everybody having to deal with this pandemic, that has been just. My wife is a nurse. She's a registered nurse, and man, people don't understand what the fuck actually happens.
I'll take this the wrong way, man, but I love your wife. As a dialysis patient on kidney failure, I love your wife.
I appreciate that, man. She works her ass off, and people. She's actually going to DC on the 12th for the nurse march that they're doing because they're trying to cap the nurse rates. And I was like, how do these pricks that are sitting behind a desk have the right to tell you how much money you're supposed to be making, taking care of people and putting your life in danger every single day? Like, that makes no fucking sense.
Kind of like a Catholic priest giving marriage advice.
Right.
Or a bunch of dudes on a court trying to tell women they shouldn't have bodily autonomy.
Agreed, man.
Any dude for that matter having an opinion on that fucking thing is beyond me.
I know. Like, I don't understand why people. I believe it's just people want power. Is my stance on it.
I know literally where it's at right now. Especially on the conservative side of things. Their whole thing is power and control. They don't give a fuck about benefiting Americans. They don't honestly care.
No. Yes. Majority of conservatives are for them. I mean, they're for themselves. That's it.
They're for themselves. They're selfish. Look, like here's some, and it's so stupid because it's asked backwards. Let's take universal health care for an example. Under a universal health care plan, you couldn't be denied anything as far as what you need for medical care. But under the current system, which is privatized medical insurance, you're paying thousands of dollars out of pocket to pay medical expenses.
Yep.
Whereas under a universal healthcare system, which wouldn't necessarily eliminate private. You could still carry private insurance. I think that was the
Correct.
plan. They wanted
Correct.
both. They wanted both. They
Correct.
wanted a universal healthcare system and a privatized system. So you could still opt in on either one. But under a universal care system, you're paying a nominal tax on it. And it doesn't amount to jack shit. You're going to pay hundreds of dollars out of every paycheck for a fucking private healthcare plan. And then at the beginning of every year, you have to pay that fucking $1,000 plus deductible. And then that insurance company could deny your fucking claim for any goddamn reason.
Yep.
And you've just dumped thousands of dollars into something that you're going to get fucked on. And you may not even ever use that insurance. You may be one of those luckily privileged ones that doesn't have a medical condition ever. So you're literally dumping thousands of dollars into something you're never going to fucking use.
Right. I mean, that's the medical field, man.
And
of course, obviously,
that shit needs to be regulated better, because you go to one hospital for an X-ray and it's $500. You go to another hospital for an X-ray and it's $350, and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Agreed.
People who are against regulation don't understand that there's no such thing as a fucking honor code with these businesses. CEOs are for-profit people. They don't give a flying fuck. There's no honor system here. You have to regulate their fucking behavior as far as being a business goes.
Yes. I mean, my wife is a nurse and has been in the medical field. I mean, she's been a nurse for 7 years, in the medical field for 12. I mean, and we pay out the ass for insurance whenever she is a nurse in the medical field and everything. We've had that problem. Yeah. We've had those talks a lot.
Yeah. It's breaking people's backs, and it's creating this anger, but they're misplacing the anger. You go and, people say that raising the minimum wage will raise the cost of everything. Well, we haven't raised the minimum wage since 2009, and the cost of everything is still going up.
Yes.
And it's not because paying employees a livable wage is going to increase prices. It's because CEOs are giving themselves 160% raise. It's those rich people who will not allow their personal profits to be cut into. They are hoarding that wealth.
Yeah, nobody needs the amount of money that some people have.
Yeah, nobody needs it. There's no reason there should be a billionaire. There's no reason a billionaire should exist, period.
I agree. 1,000 millions is over way too much.
Yeah.
As far as the company having money and using those money, using that money for good things or something that can go about that is something that I would be willing to have another conversation on. But that's another time for another day and a long conversation.
Yeah. I appreciate your insight, brother.
I appreciate it. I've got to go get one of my daughters from school, so I appreciate the conversation. It's been a good one, man, and I'll look forward to your lives from now on.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your support, man. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
There's already long wait times. It's a dumb argument. You said it. There's already long wait times to see specialists for various things. That already exists. I remember when I got diagnosed in the first place, or when I got sick back in 2012. It took a week to be seen by a nephrologist, a specialist. There's already long wait times for shit. It doesn't matter. You want to shorten those wait times? We need more doctors. It's just that simple. Well, it looks like we're going to have connection issues with this young individual, so we're going to move on. Oh, we're having connection issues with him as well.
Yellow.
Hey, Ethan. How
I am doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I just wanted to pop on for a second because I've been in your chat all day, and I've been seeing some things that have been pissing me off. So the main thing that I've been seeing today is a lot of like, oh, Christians, it's all about love, it's all about blah blah blah. And I just want to bring up Westboro Baptist Church. I want to bring up the fact that I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, and I have seen the crap that they do firsthand. Um, you cannot sit here and tell me that Christians are all about love when all they do is sit and judge and hate anyone that isn't, quote unquote, a perfect Christian. Um, and I'm already seeing in the chat right now, oh, they're a hate group and whatever. But it's not just Westboro Baptist Church. I grew up in a church where my dad and my pastor went to a library where a young trans individual was doing a storybook reading for a bunch of kids, and they sat in the back of that reading and yelled slurs and made a ton of comments. Okay, I've been to many churches in my lifetime and they're all the same. If you walk into a church as a gay person, you will get judged. Like, all it is about judging. So if you're going to come into this chat and say that Jesus is all about love and all of this stuff, you need to actually represent the religion that you say that you do and be kind the way that you're supposed to be kind and do something other than judging.
Right. It's largely hypocritical.
And then actually, while I have you, I have a quick question. So
Shoot.
I was in a conversation with someone last night about this. And a point that he brought up was something that I didn't know anything about, so I wanted to get your opinion on it. He said that crucifixion was invented after it was written, something in the Old Testament. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
Crucifixion existed before Jesus.
So I guess what I'm talking, he said that there's I think it's like a prophet from the Old Testament talked about crucifixion before crucifixion was invented, like 200 years before it was invented.
No, crucifixion had been around for a long time. It wasn't prophesied at all.
Okay. Yeah, because he stumped me on that because I had never heard of it. So, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was everything I needed. I'm at work, but I just had to get
Okay.
my opinion out there because they were making me mad. So,
That's all right.
yeah. All right, awesome. Well, thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Do the same.
The comment earlier that that's not Christianity, that's bullshit. That's a bullshit cop-out. That is a bullshit cop-out. There is a reason to generalize groups of people. And when you look at Christianity from a general perspective, it is homophobic. It is anti-women's rights. That religion inspires that behavior. All right, you know what? You're done. I've had enough of your bullshit already. I don't normally block people, but when you're going to fucking come in my live and act a god, I'm fucking cutting you off.
Yo.
Hello. Hello.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Full of joy, living a dream.
Living the American dream, right? Somewhat. Yeah, sorry about earlier, man. I was in the car wash, and then my friend was calling me, and somehow my music was playing, and I just screwed up. But
No, that's
hey,
all right.
I just wanted to, I appreciate it. I just want to say, I like when I'm like watching you, like in my head, I'm like, man, I got so much stuff to say. And then whenever I'm like in it, you know, like you go somewhere, you know, you just like go out. But I'm not Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm a libertarian, like that guy Josh was saying. But it does come down to like voting on like one side. and I guess I would lean towards more Republican. I just like, before I get into like God and stuff, which is I'm big passionate about. I just want to know like why you think like Donald Trump was so bad. Like did you not like
Because
how
he
he did
didn't
for the
actually have any
economy?
public
Or
policies that fucking helped. He didn't
you
have
said
any
what?
public policies that helped. He didn't have any public policies that helped. I
Like, you
remember
know,
one of the executive orders Donald Trump signed made it legal for Christian adoption agencies to turn away gay people. Because fuck kids, right? They don't need a loving home. It's all about Christian beliefs, which are wrong literally 90+% of the time.
mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump had a lot of shit rhetoric. Before Donald Trump got into office, we literally as a society pushed white nationalists off into the fringe. We didn't listen to them. We didn't give them the time of fucking day. We didn't allow them to represent any part of our nation. Donald Trump got into office, and now suddenly white supremacist groups spring up fucking everywhere, and they've got a voice, and they endorse Donald Trump. We have a problem.
I agree. I think white supremacists wasn't talked about until after Donald Trump. But before Donald Trump became president, everyone loved Donald Trump. Like, he was like the man and stuff. My dad told me growing up, and like everybody liked him. He'd be at parties, like he'd be out on the streets giving people
That's
like money
great,
and stuff.
fine and dandy, but he's still a fucking idiot. We have an unfortunate history in this country of promoting stupidity. Kylie Jenner is fucking popular just because she's fucking popular. She's a goddamn idiot.
She got popular through her family. She wasn't even self-made,
Yeah.
you know?
We have a bad habit of giving stupidity credit. Donald Trump is the only businessman I've ever heard of that lost $900 billion on a casino. How
Yeah,
do
that
you
sounds
go
like Trump.
bankrupt on a fucking casino?
That's him for you. But yeah, that's just a lot of money that went to waste that he could have used.
He's a literal fucking child. Like, that's what Donald Trump is. He's a fucking third grader trapped in a man's body. And I have no respect for him anyway. I grew up on a farm in southern Minnesota, baling hay, breaking horses, and shoveling shit. Donald Trump hasn't so much as done his own fucking laundry his entire fucking life. He has no idea what it means to be blue collar.
I agree. I'm a blue collar worker. I work on airplanes, so I get that. But you know, the thing I liked about Trump mainly was like all these presidents that come into office, they get to choose their salary to a certain extent. And the first thing I heard about Donald Trump was
cheated. Trump cheated. He gave up $150,000 salary, but then at the same time went on so many goddamn golfing trips at his own fucking resort.
Yeah, that's his resort. That's his business, though, is what I'm saying. And his salary, he took $1.
Taxpayer money to do that shit. Your taxes paid Trump to go to his own resort.
That's not while he was in office, though. Before
yes,
office,
it was.
he had multiple
yes,
businesses.
It was
That's
while
how
he was
became
in
a billionaire.
office. Yes, it was while he was in office. As a president, that man took. We can Google this shit, man.
No, I saw him take golf trips. I know what you mean, but I'm saying that was his business before he became in office.
Doesn't matter. It's corrupt. It's conflict of interest. He took and used taxpayer money to go on golfing trips at his own resort. The man made millions and millions of dollars off of his presidency.
He didn't take a president's salary, though. He uses his own money for everything.
So fucking what?
I see what you're saying.
Who gives a shit? I don't care if he gave up 100. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think Biden's better?
No. I think, well, yes, Biden is better than Trump. but I still don't like Biden, and I don't worship any politician. None of them.
So you don't vote?
Yes, I vote, but I don't worship.
I see what you're saying.
I'm not getting a tattoo of Biden. I'm not carrying a Biden flag anywhere in my fucking apartment. I don't have a Biden bumper sticker on my car.
Yeah.
I recognize Biden for what he is, a career politician. I knew when he was running for office, half of what the fuck he was promising, he wasn't going to follow through on.
Yeah, I know. And
Republicans vote against their own best interests anyway.
Yeah, I just feel like people voted for Biden just because like it was a trend, you know. It was a trend. Like they just wanted to get Trump out of office.
Which is why they voted for Trump, man. They voted for Trump because he was a trend, not because he actually had any good fucking policies.
Economy-wise, our economy is the best it's been since Ronald Reagan, in my opinion.
No.
All prices went down. People were having jobs, and Donald Trump actually came out and supported black communities.
There's a thing called supply and demand. Name one policy Trump had that made life better for Americans.
Not policy, but I guess he didn't sign a lot of executive orders, but like the border and stuff, like keeping all
what
of
about
us
the
like
border?
in here.
What about the border? What do you think?
Not having
what do
like
you think?
elite. You said what?
What do you think the border did, man?
Well, it's not even finished. That's the thing, because he said before his term that it wouldn't be finished in 4 years. It would take longer than that. But I see what he means about like people like me who like work for everything.
Sorry,
like
man.
All my friends. You said what?
That border debate was jack shit bullshit. It was a distraction. It was a talking point to get you fired up and pissed off.
Yeah.
Nearly all illegal immigrants into the United States fly here on a visa and overstay it.
Overstay it, yeah.
Very few actual immigrants cross that fucking border. And so what? Who gives a fuck? Why are we worried about immigrants in the fucking first place? It doesn't do jack shit to hurt us. As a matter of fact, in my experience, having worked construction most of my life, we had Mexicans from Mexico on our fucking crews, and those guys will fucking run circles around your ass.
Yeah, I know.
They work harder than anybody I've ever met in my life.
I know.
So what the fuck's the problem with
having them?
What's the problem with having them here?
I didn't mean to say like the border as in like being like a racist thing. I'm just saying like for our economy wise, like everything was flowing really well. Our gas prices were really cheap. A lot of jobs were being.
Thanks to Obama. Fucking Trump inherited that market, that economy from Obama after fucking Bush drove it into the fucking ground. And gas prices now are up because the pandemic people are traveling more now than they were a few years ago. That's why gas prices are up. Supply and demand. It has nothing to do with anything Biden did or didn't do.
Didn't Biden do something with the oil rigs though? Didn't he like?
No, Biden has not done anything to the industry.
I saw something during this presidency that all the oil rigs were being